Heidi ho, good morning, everyone. This is Sharon Combs, and you are watching Knowledge or Nonsense. Today, we're going to continue on with our series, Getting to Know You. There's so many amazing people in our industry, there's so many amazing people in our communities, and often we see them and we have maybe what we believe about them, but just getting to know them a little deeper, finding out their whys, their passions, what drives them, their skill sets. Getting to know somebody just a little more just allows us to have a glimpse, just a peek into who they are. And so today we're going to do that with Mrs. Arlene Bush. Many of you have seen her. If you're on LinkedIn, you know you're looking at images of her and others in our industry every day. We have 21 days of it, and those have been some amazing pictures, fun pictures, recollections of good times, just fun times that we've had. And so we're going to spend some time with her today. So you know what to do. Share this video, put your questions in the chat. This is a live session. So if you have any questions or comments, please put them in the chat. If there's something you want to know about Miss Arlene, again, put it in the chat. If you don't want to put it in the chat because you don't want everyone to know that you are actually texting it, sending it, you can text that to 214-717-5921 and we'll get a response to you. So what I'd like for us all to do right now is just take a moment, subscribe to this channel, share the video. When we come back, we'll have Miss Arlene Bush with us. All right, we'll see you in just a sec. Good morning. Good morning. How are you?
Good morning. Happy Saturday to you.
Yes, it is Saturday. Saturday is always I try to let it be such a relaxed day unless work demands otherwise. But I really just appreciate so much on Saturday. I appreciate it through the week, but often, we're busy. You're busy. There are things, there are demands. But Saturday, we can take it just a little slower and survey from a perspective instead of okay, what's next perspective or firefighting perspective. So Miss Arlene, welcome to the platform again. We've talked to you before. I've seen you at so many conferences. You're so involved in the industry, but can you tell us maybe a little bit about yourself?
Sure. First of all, thanks for having me on the show again. I really do appreciate it. We are in our presidential election for HSPA, and we have a packed ballot. But a little bit about me. My name's Arlene Bush. I am a CRCST, CER, CIS, CHL, SME for HSPA. I have a certification through the World Health Organization, which is a DSMD. And a just most recent certification is with the VA, and it is a CRSM MST, which is a lot of certifications to have kind of behind your name right now. I'm 26 years in the industry. I am a mom to two wonderful boys, Jaden and Kavika. I currently serve as a supervisor at the Department of Veteran Affairs at the Lee County VA in Cape Coral, Florida. Some of you may know me from the Florida chapter. I am the communications director for Florida Fire and have been for many years. I participated on this year's conference planning committee for our conference in Vegas. I hope to see everybody there. It's a short 6 weeks away. So if you haven't registered yet, you should. A lot of people see me on social media. I'm real active on social media, chat rooms and things of that nature. LinkedIn. I run our chapter Facebook page. But I think most people know me just as a trusted colleague who's really willing to share their knowledge with everybody. People are free to message me on LinkedIn and things like that. I get questions every day. just what do you do? What have you done? What have you seen? And I really enjoy that type of interaction with our association and our membership and just our industry as a whole.
Yeah.
You know, it's been a really rewarding run. I'm 26 years in, and I feel like I don't know everything, but I'm learning every single day. I get aha moments like, I didn't think about it like that. Or, well, that's interesting. That standard changed right under my nose and I didn't know it. So sterile processing has always been an interesting industry for me. And I mean, it's just ever changing, isn't it? We've come a long way from where we once were just in surgery, and the complexity of our instrumentation has changed dramatically.
Yeah, a lot has changed. I mean, visibility with infection rates, things that people didn't know or even know to ask years ago, as far as being patients, different standards. I know that there's some involvement. You have involvement with AAMI as well. You've been like a committee chair. I know too. You've been on both sides when there are disasters. You've done a show here, even actually talking about disaster preparedness, because you've been in Florida when there have been some serious hurricanes that hit, and you know you're there. You're still there. You're helping your staff. You're helping your team members. You didn't mention that you've been a system educator, which definitely takes the ability to collaborate and work with different entities, even within one system. So that would be something that really is helpful here. What do you think? What are some of the traits you believe that a strong presidential candidate would have? Like, what are some skills or some, I don't know, really, yeah, some traits that they would have?
So some of the skills that I think that would be useful as president, you know, would be a diverse leadership background, knowledge base, real life experiences in the sterile processing arena. You know, it's kind of hard to deal with a utility loss until you've walked through it. To keep an open mind while serving our membership, and really try to give people a moment that they need, that they're heard, that they have been listened to, that they're seeing problems brought to attention, that they're being addressed in a timely fashion. I hope that's what, you know, our membership is receiving in return when they bring something up, and that it is getting addressed and that it's not just getting swept under the rug.
Okay. So those traits, can you tell us, because those are some traits, but can you tell us maybe about the president-elect role? Some people, listen, if you guys don't know Arlene, connect with her on LinkedIn, first and foremost. I'm sure you can find her other places, but I always am like, people get on LinkedIn. Will you tell us about the president-elect role? Because I'm always like, oh, it's the president. But there is a period before they are president. Will you tell us about that?
There is. So the office of president-elect, it really allows you an opportunity to work with the current president and kind of learn from the current president what the expectation is for the presidency role. You know, it's to familiarize yourself with the governance of the association, what the requirements of that entail, because you really don't know before you get there, which helps facilitate a smoother transition between the two presidents. You kind of want to know what the initial goals were, and you want to be able to pick up where they left off. So it really is a pivotal year, I think, the president-elect year. If you're going to serve the membership, you're not just thrown into a seat and you're like, all right, here you go. You really do kind of need some grooming, right? To understand, you know, the workings of our association. And you kind of need to have some other involvement in the association, right? To kind of get the background of what the requirement is for the presidency. What are we governing? What are we overseeing? And things of that nature. What is the board doing? What are other committees doing? Is everything staying on task? We have a strategic plan, and the president is enforcing the strategic plan and maintaining it, making sure it stays on timeline, things of that nature. It's really interesting because a lot of our membership, I don't think, understand our seats quite as it should be.
Hey, listen, I'm a member and I don't always understand either. I knew that there was a year before. I know it's like a three-year sequence of events. Once you're elected, you are the president-elect for 1 year, and then you are the president, and then I think you are the past president. But I've never really looked deeply into the role of the president-elect or the past president. And so, yeah, you're right. You're
Yeah,
right.
I don't think people understand that the past president also sits on the nomination committee. In their past president year, the past president sits on the nomination committee. So I think that level of lateral in our organization isn't well known, lateral movement. And I think that's, that should be spoken about and widely understood by our membership. That way they're more eager to be involved.
Let's get it. Let's get it. So the nomination committee, those are people we've elected in okay.
You can be appointed to the nomination committee. You don't have to be elected. You can call the office and say, I'd like to serve on the nomination committee.
See, you know what? I don't think people, I didn't know that. So me as a member, I could call in and say, hey, I want to serve on the nomination committee, and I could get involved that way.
Sure can.
Wow, that's amazing.
You're not going to know unless you tell them.
I don't think I thought about it that deeply, but I did just think the nomination committee would be like the board or past board members, people who've been involved before.
No, ma'am. Anybody who is a CRCST can sit on the nomination committee. You merely need to call and let the association know you want to get involved. That's it. That's all it takes.
This is what I'm always telling people, even with, I work for a consulting company that provides staffing, but mainly consulting. And I'm always telling the people, read your contracts. So here's something that I will go and read. Maybe
I'll do bylaws. You should.
Yes, I will go and read them because
our bylaws can be found on our HSPA website under the About Us tab.
All right, About Us. Let's go get it. Get it. Yeah, people like, I didn't know, so therefore it can't be. But just because you're ignorant of the fact doesn't mean it's not going to be. Yeah, if you didn't know the speed limit was 35, you're still going to get that ticket. So
yeah.
Also, there are positives to things known positive, like how to navigate and move.
It does have an outline, kind of our organization, different offices, different committees. I don't think some of our organization knows that we have so many committees, like the Certification Council. A lot of people don't know about the nomination committee and all that goes into reading the applications to make it on a ballot. They kind of just see once the people get to the ballot, they see the fun part. They don't see all the work in the background. But there has to be somebody there to read these applications to get onto a ballot. So if you're interested, certainly reach out to the association and get involved. I mean, there's plenty of committees. There's a seat for everyone. I promise you.
Wow. And you've been in different roles. You've been on the board. What are some of your prior board leadership? You understand these demands what are some of the prior things that you've done to really help you have a handle and insight on how to best serve the membership and the organization?
Okay, brace yourself. So,
right.
I had the pleasure of serving as a executive board member from 21 to 23. I was a nomination chair in 2020. I was on the nomination committee In 2019, I was a subject matter expert from 2027 to 2021. I volunteered every year at our conference volunteer event where we gave back at food banks and our conference cities. I always thought that was a great way to give back to our conference city and to volunteer at a food bank. Gave back in multiple ways. It was like 3 or 4 hours event. It was always fun, was really great. And we got time to hang out with some of our association members that we didn't see all year round. But doing all of my participation with the association has really opened doors for me with AAMI. I sit on AAMI ST79 work group 40 for steam sterilization and hospital practices. And I also sit on AAMI work group 33 for sterilization and dental practices. But it's really a labor of love for me. You know, it's kind of sterile processing every single day. My kids know it, my family knows it, my colleagues know it. I actually spoke to a colleague like 3:45 in the morning on Thursday morning, and she knows who she is. I'm not going to call her name, but she knows who she is. She was shocked that I replied to her on LinkedIn at 3:45 in the morning. But it touched her, and I just happened to be up, and she had a question about her ballot and why she hadn't gotten one. And she was pleasantly surprised she got a reply.
Yeah, I can definitely I know I've seen that in action. I've seen that in action, the availability, the responses, the answers. I had no idea that we volunteered, that our organization volunteered. That's something that definitely needs to be out there. You know, people would be more proud of our organization if we knew some of the things that they did, because everyone may not be as heavily involved as you are in the background. So just seeing some of that, like, you know, that makes people want to be even more a part of something. So you're up, you're answering things at 3:45. What makes a mission meaningful to you?
There's so many things, honestly. There's it all starts really with patient safety. Our mission will always be patient safety for our association, plays a huge part in that, and thrusting our profession forward in our industry, looking at us as a profession. Truly, the pandemic had a huge impact on sterile processing, and really looking at what we are, and not just an allied health position, but as a profession, because we were the reprocessors in the industry during COVID. We were the experts in how are we going to render this safe. It went against everything we ever knew in our career, right? To reprocess something dirty in a machine, or, you know, put a dirty mask into a method that we know if it's dirty going in, it's going to be dirty coming out.
Yes.
Off-gassing items, or the emergency use authorizations, the directives we were given, again, that went against everything we learned. It was hard, right? But this was the directive we were given, and we needed to execute it. And 20 minutes later, it changed. And the next day, it changed again. And the day after that, it changed again. It is hard to educate people when you were like, look, 12 hours ago, you was just here saying it another way. I know. But the industry has changed. We pivoted this way, and this is the way we're going as an organization. And won't you get on the train with me? That's hard to keep people motivated like that. So
it is.
You really need to kind of search your soul, right? Make it relative, and kind of make it, if you have to go home tonight, don't you want to make sure you're safe? Don't you want to make sure you're here tomorrow? Don't you want to come back in and serve another patient? Because that's really what it is, right? How do we get up every single day and do what we do with a smile on our face and not drive home the speed limit with the radio off, crying in the car? You got to love what you do. You got to love what you do. You got to know that your purpose is meaningful and that every patient on this table or that has a surgery or that needs an instrument in a doctor's office is going to get it sterile every single time. It's worth it, right?
It is.
It is. That's our mission.
It is. It is. And again, just like with Saturdays, it is what is determined, like, because you do it so often. I'm glad that you're actually reminding us of this, because we can say patient safety, but the way you just delivered it, there is that gravity to it, you know, like, listen, this is going to affect someone. Just this year.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No, I mean, I have the pleasure of delivering care to veterans every single day, and I don't take it for granted. And when I walk in and I see veterans who gave an ultimate sacrifice, right? The least I could do is show up and render care. The very least I could do is give care. That's it. Give care.
And I'm really glad you're so passionate about it.
Yeah. What we do is so important. There's less than 100,000 people who do sterile processing on the globe. Think about that. Really? There is about 40,000 CBSPD certificate holders. We are at about 48,000. That's less than 100,000 people on the globe that can do what we do. That makes us a master of our craft. And people don't even think about it. They just do it. That says something.
Wow. So that's less than 100K people certified.
People don't think about sterile processing like that. There's less than 100,000 CRCSTs on the globe.
I didn't think about it like that.
Nope. Nobody does.
I knew, because I was like, I know that because they're uncertified people too. So I was like, when you said 100,000, I was like, what? But it makes sense now. You know what I was thinking about, though? I have to go back because I'm still focused on this. When you were talking about it's the very least we can do, I literally was thinking about a colleague of mine within the past 90 days, within the past quarter, went in for something to do with like a carpal tunnel or a pain in the wrist, and she had a procedure. And it wasn't at a hospital. It was at a center where you go, you have, and you come back.
Mm-hmm.
And the saddest thing is, there was something amiss. There was something amiss, you know, and it is important. It is so critical that the instruments, that the things are followed, the IFUs, the processes, that things are actually truly sterile. And they can't be sterile if they're still dirty. Like, you really can't sterilize dirt. You can try, but it's still dirty. You know what I'm saying? If somebody's going to, and that colleague, like, she lost her life within something that was so routine for like an arm. You're not even dealing with her internal major organs.
But you see,
and the next day, her family, her children.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. And
it's so sad that it has come to that point, that we have more medical errors every single year, and we have awareness and we have dedicated healthcare professionals, and yet it still happens. And we still have risk events, and we have near misses, and we have medical errors in the thousands every single month. But I mean, how are we missing the mark? How are we not getting that number to zero? They just keep going up. They're not going down. I don't know, but it hurts me in the heart every time I hear about a medical error that happens. And it doesn't have to be sterile processing, and it doesn't have to be instrumentation. It's a medical error, period. It touches everybody in healthcare, whether it happened in your OR or in your hallway or in your parking lot. It touches everybody. So
Yeah.
I'm so
So
sorry.
you're no, you're this. Hey, I'm sorry. I'm sorry for a family. You know, my heart hurts for all that. My brain hurts because I'm like, what for that? You know, like
We have death
what?
associated with the most common surgeries like tonsillectomies. They've been doing tonsillectomies for years, but people die from tonsillectomies.
And so that gets me there, you know, and that's why I'm always like, hey, I want the best people in the best roles for what we do. Even when
Yeah.
it comes to leadership inside the hospital, I want the best people in the best role. And that's why I do things that I do. And I can hear your passion of why you do what you do. Because
I
we
feel
are,
bad for the OR people when my kids have surgery. My son had surgery last September, and I mean, I was over the top. People walked in his room, and I was like, "Did you hit the hand sanitizer? Did you clean your pen today?" That's all right. I got my own pen. I'll use my own pen to sign the papers. Thanks. I mean, it was just crazy. And my son was like, "Wow." And I was like, "Hey, this is
you don't
precious
know
cargo
though.
on this table." I walked him to his OR, watched them put him to sleep, start his line. They were like, "All right, you can go." I was like, "Thanks so much. I really do appreciate you guys humoring me." Poor kid.
But yes, but I made this walk. So actually, then I know this, but your healthcare is part of your legacy, right?
It is. It
It
really
is.
is. I come from a long line of
Yeah.
nurses, EMTs. I got flight nurses in my family. My mom was a nurse. My mom currently volunteers at the VA in the OR.
I like that.
Yeah,
So serving
we're
is
a
actually a
medical
part of
family
you.
all through and through. My sister's an oncology nurse. My other sister is a nurse. My grandma was a nurse. I'm not a nurse.
Well, no, but you like what you do. That's
Love
why
it.
you're not a nurse.
Yep,
Yeah.
I love
It's
it.
not like I'm not a nurse because I can't be a nurse. You're not a nurse because you choose not to be a nurse too. Let's make that
Exactly.
clear. You
Yeah,
are
I'm
where
the
you
black
want
sheep
to
of the
be. You're
family because I'm
working.
not a nurse. I play my part well.
Cool. Well, I'm glad that we've got to know just a little bit more about you here today. I'm glad that you do have the experience behind you and you understand the workings, the inner workings of the machine, not just inside the facility, but also as an organization. Clearly, we can hear your passion, and it sounds like serving is something that is important to you. So, the same way you're serving volunteers and your mom is volunteering, I do believe you're going to serve the membership the same way. So that's crazy. I really did not know that HSPA did things outside like that. I thought it was just the certification board and our membership, like to
No,
help bring us
no.
information, to help us navigate information, to help us disseminate information, you know, to be a place that we could go and get answers. But I didn't know that we actually worked outside in the community, you know, doing
Mhm.
volunteer events.
COVID
So
definitely put a tamper on that. And prior to COVID, HSPA did a sister exchange, which was really cool. We went to different countries and partnered with sterile processing departments. And somebody from here in the US went to a hospital in another country. We've gone to China, Argentina, and a couple of other places where they swapped and went to each other's hospitals for a week, where China hosted one of our people and then we hosted somebody from China. It was a huge success. I hope we bring that back. But I mean, you know, COVID kind of put a damper on that type of travel. We do the scholarship for the Mercy Ship, that we have somebody on the Mercy Ship right now. Yay,
oh yay.
Randolyn. Shout out to
We
our
have
girl Randolyn, who's on the ship right now.
She says she's having an amazing time.
Right? And she's documenting it. I can't wait for her to write a book. She's definitely got to write a book about it because it's pretty cool occurrence, like an experience in life, right? And I mean, the people you do the surgeries they're doing, like cleft palates and things like that, it's huge in these children's lives. So kudos
Oh,
to the Mercy Ships, again, sponsored by HSPA. I just want to throw that out there.
yeah. See, good. I did not know that part.
Yeah. So
I didn't know they were
then,
sponsored by HSPA. I
yes,
knew that they were like
We did a
I'm familiar with
scholarship for it.
Okay.
And we have foundation scholarships that we give out every single year. We promote other vendor partnership scholarships every single year. These are scholarships that you can apply for conference. They will help send you to conference, might not cover it all, but it will certainly help kind of the bottom line. Those links can be found on our website, on the HSPA website, and they're open pretty much all year round, the scholarships. They don't really have a deadline. They're posted throughout the year, especially with our partner industry partners. They post them there as well on the HSPA website.
You know, it's amazing. I've had, you know, Knowledge and Nonsense, we've had many HSPA members and elected members on. And this is the first I've heard about the volunteering. This is the first I've heard about, like, I'm familiar with mercy ships all the way. I'm completely familiar with mercy ships. I know that people send things out like, hey, help me go on mercy ships. This is what I'm doing it for. It's kind of like a mission trip in church, but it's healthcare. You know, hey, we're going to make a difference in people's lives. Can you help me do this? I did not know that HSPA sponsored someone for mercy ships. So this is good. This is good information for people to hear, period. So I really hope that people take this information to heart. Where can individuals find you, Arlene?
I'm on LinkedIn. I'm on Facebook. I'm on Instagram. I have 9,000 emails that I won't bore y'all with. But I mean, I am reachable. Definitely. Look me up on LinkedIn. Trying to hit like 3,000 connections.
Okay. Y'all heard it. Look her up on LinkedIn, Arlene Bush. Arlene, I want to thank you so much for being with us today. This will play today. It is live. We will also replay this next Tuesday throughout the course of the day on LinkedIn, definitely, so individuals can see it again. Is there anything I can do for you? Anything you would like for us to do as membership?
All I can say right now is get out there and vote. You should have been emailed the ballot on Tuesday, March 5th. Go check your email. If you did not get your ballot, please call the office. It would have went to the email on file on your HSPA file profile. If you didn't get it, call the office. They're happy to send you one. But get out there and vote. It's really your opportunity to let your voice be heard and have an active partnership in our membership by placing your vote. We don't get a lot of voter participation in our election, and I'd really like to change that. I'd like this to kind of be record high in voter turnout. So get out there and vote. Look at our candidate bios. There are a lot of great people running this year. And our election is done on March 26th. So we still have plenty of time. There's plenty of time for candidates to get out there and get some podcasts going. There's a lot of buzz this past week on LinkedIn about our association. I can't stress enough. That's amazing how much publicity our election is getting, right? You really don't see that a lot. So it's really refreshing
for these past years. So yeah. All right. So before we go, are there any questions from any of our viewers? I see some people on LinkedIn. LinkedIn doesn't always reflect here on our screen. Anybody have any questions? Give you about like 5 to 7 seconds or comments.
If not, everybody can hit me up on LinkedIn. I'm definitely out there.
Right.
If we're not connected, let's get connected.
Right. And since you're already on LinkedIn now, go ahead and do that because we do have some LinkedIn people. Yeah, there they go. We do have some LinkedIn individuals with us. Y'all be safe. God bless. Arlene, yeah.
Thanks for spending your Saturday morning with me with some coffee.
Yes. And some water. Okay, that's not true. That's actually lemonade, but you know. All right, that's all I have today. That's all I have. I think I don't think I am still just a little shocked. I don't think I knew that
we do wonderful things. We're small but mighty, our association. We really are. We're small but mighty.
I wish well, now that I know, one thing I will do is open my mouth here on knowledge and nonsense. But I didn't know, and I know there's so many people who like volunteering, like definitely with things in the community. So that's exciting. That's exciting. Let me go read those bylaws so I can see how to be involved, with volunteering. Like that's cool. And you get to know about people when you're volunteering together like that.
You
Really
do.
you get to see people when it's volunteer. You get to see people's heart for real. And it just reminds you too of why we do what we do, because it is a human element to it, human compassion, all of that. Okay, I'm done.
We can't forget our human element. We cannot forget it. Doesn't matter the stress, the day, the number of carts we got. We can't forget the human element. Stay humble.
Stay humble. All right, y'all be safe. God bless. Thank you for watching Knowledge and Nonsense. This has been Getting to Know You with Arlene Bush. You guys already know who she is. She didn't say some of the awards, but their chapter has won awards. And awards, like they won it before it was fired. When it was another name, they were still winning awards there. So she's an award-winning member, an award-winning role haver in these chapters, in these organizations. She's not telling you all of that. But yes, get out there and vote. Her name is Arlene Bush. She's on the presidential ballot. She's running against one other person, but I'm just saying vote for Arlene. That's the bottom line. Read all of the bios. Read all the bios. Make your own vote. Just know that I'm sorry, I don't even know the other person. So listen, I just know Arlene. All right, y'all be safe and God bless. Have a great day. Arlene, thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you again. Have a great day.